So, what do I do? Well, okay. I think it's important to understand that, it's on two levels. There's one level in which the practicality of a director or a producer trying to see all the people that might consider themselves right for a part would be impossible. I mean, if I put out a breakdown, I would get on an average of anywhere from 60 to 160 suggestions on any one character, sometimes more, especially if those breakdowns go out across the country. I might get 800 suggestions for a role. If it's something like a movie like the Twilight movies, I might get 6,000 or 8,000 suggestions. So obviously it's impossible for a director and producer to do all of that work. So they require someone whose expertise and experience is only in this area, which is casting, in order to go through all of that and say, okay, I think this person is worthy to be seen and this person's worthy to be seen. A lot of actors ask me, how do I pick someone out of all of those people? Well, part of it is just, that's what I do, that's my experience. But part of it is just simply, if I read someone's resume and they haven't done a lot of work, but they've been in a lot of training, then that's going to look better than someone who's done no training. Obviously, someone who has some training and has done some small parts in films and continues to be involved in stuff is going to be thought of better. There are certain training facilities that I think are better than others, so that helps me make a decision whether I might pre-screen them. Now, pre-screening means that they're going to come in and they're going to read for me, and there won't be a director, there won't be anything, we won't even tape it. We'll just read for me, and then I'll make a decision. Okay, that actor is interesting, they could possibly play this, or they're not right for this, they're right for something else. This is somebody that I don't know, that I've never met before, or I know very little of. So I'll do a round of pre-screens, and out of that, I'll choose a group of people that will come in and do auditions for me. Because we work majoritively on tape and not with a director in the room on the first go-around, I will often just use the taping facilities and see twice as many people that I normally would, of which half of those people are new or people that I'm not sure about. But I can waste tape because tape is cheap. So I just simply shoot it and then I go, okay, fine, and erase them if they're not worthy, and I'll keep only the ones that I want. But remember that I might see 20 people for something and I might get rid of 10 of those as not being right, but I might only send 6 to the director. And I send them in order of my preference. This is the person I think is the best, most right, second most right, third most right, fourth most right. Okay, so that's what I do. But if you understand that if I'm looking at 60 suggestions and I'm only looking at 10 of those people, then the creativity that I use to choose those 10 people really marks what I do. Now, what is it that I'm looking for? Okay, I'm looking, these days, it is no big do that you can do a scene naturally. That you can talk as if it's a normal conversation, that you can approach a scene and tell me the dialogue, basically. That naturalism isn't acting, it's not drama. Drama is realism with all of the boring parts taken out. Okay, it's real life with all of the boring parts. So what I'm looking for is someone who comes into the room and tells me a story, because that's what acting is. Acting is telling me the story of your character. Now, all stories have a surface textual level, that's what you say, but they have a subtextual level, what you really want. It's like in life. You go to your mom, you want to be able to stay up late and watch television, or go to a party, and you know that she's going to be hard-pressed to give you a yes on that. So you are really talking about how nice she looks and what a great day it is, but really you're trying to suck up because you want to go to this party. So that's your subtextual level. And I want to see how you get what you want, how good you are at manipulating, changing the current, trying to find new ways to get your mom to do that. That's what we're talking about. I need to see text, and I need to see subtext, and I need to see a journey. You cannot start somewhere and end in the same place. All acting is change. It's about change because you are causing something to happen. That's why it's acting is an action causing something to happen. Now, it's Also, what I'm looking for is someone who looks at a piece of material and go, okay, here's the obvious choices of what this person might do. Now, if that's the case, then you can darn well bet that 3 or 4 of you are going to come in with the obvious choices. And those are the least interesting. I'm looking for the unobvious, the ideas that are lurking in the corner of a scene, something that's going to expose something that's clever or interesting and make me, the audience, go, make me think. And I'm looking for that. I'm looking for a connection between the material and the camera, and I'm looking for someone who has prepared and have done some work in trying to figure out what is the most interesting thing I can do with this scene that's still telling the story. I do not want someone coming in and having grown a hump or a limp or an accent or telling nobody's story but their own and avoiding the story that needs to be told in the script, just to be interesting. So it's not just picking stuff out of the air, it's delving deeper into the material and not just at a surface level. Now, I also think that it's important that you express and show to me in the room the abilities that I need to see on the screen and when and if you get the job. And one of those is being unapologetic. I find that actors have a tendency to walk into a room and they're prepared to do something, and then if something goes awry, like they forget a line or they lose their place, they drop completely out of the scene and they say, I'm sorry. I don't want your sorrow. I want your involvement in the scene. If you lose your place, stay in character, find it, and continue on. Even if you have to backtrack a little, stay in character and begin it again. Trust me, we're not looking for the scene to be perfect from the beginning to the end. I hate perfection. I do not like anything that's that cold and calculated and finite and finished. I want it to feel like you started here with just reading the script and knowing nothing. You don't have a director involved. You don't know anything else. You've thought about this, thought about it, and you've come to this presentation that you're going to come in, and it's a work in progress. And I have to believe that once you've worked with a director and once you've progressed on, will get better and better. It cannot be this is all there is. So I'm looking for someone who comes in and they're unapologetic, that they're fearless, that they're prepared to take huge risks. I feel that if you don't come in and risk throwing up, then you haven't done a good job. If you're safe, you're sorry. And not the sorry that I'm talking about. All right? So again, be a professional, be prepared to make strong choices that show a depth of understanding of the scene. Come in, be unapologetic and fearless. I think that's not a lot to ask. All right, questions?